Hi, I'm Teresa Lisum. Welcome to Evolving Women, and welcome to my beautiful guest co-host, Diane Amelia Read. We're so glad
Hey,
you're here. Thank
my
you.
pleasure.
I'm evolving, you're evolving, we're all evolving. So let's help each other to evolve and let's evolve together. Our intention here is to fill the world with uplifting messages, new perspectives, tools, resources, wellness ideas, mindset, maybe a shift in your beliefs. And we're here to give you permission to be your best self and live your best life. So who do you hang around with? Did you ever hear that phrase, you're the sum total of the 5 people you hang with? So it's important to know who you're surrounding yourself with. So I am delighted that I can surround myself with Diane Amelia here. Yay! She
And
is definitely a
likewise,
positive influence. So Diane, have you heard that phrase before?
I have heard that phrase before, and even kind of an expansion of that. It's not just the 5 people that you hang with most, it's also then an extended influence because each of those 5 people you hang with most, you're probably only one of their 5. So they've got each of them 5 people, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's a big circle of influence that we might not think about any more than a fish notices the water it's swimming in.
That's a good point. So I just had an image of these little riplets, multiple riplets, all kind of bumping into each other. And so they're all interconnected in some way. And we are all creating our own ripple effect, who are then, rippling out to us. So yeah, that's interesting that you offered that outward even more than just those 5. So I got this idea from one source, which happens to be the compound effect, which I've been reading, and it's by Darren Hardy, I believe. And he talks about the 5 people that influence you. Are they influencing you in a positive way or a negative way? And it's a very subtle influence. Like it could be a big dramatic change, but it's probably little teeny nudges in a direction if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the influences, depending on where you spend your time and who you spend it with, they can be quite direct. If it's a family member, if it's your boss,
Yeah.
those influences can be quite overt, but to your point, they can also just kind of seep in and be much more subtle.
Without us noticing. And
Yeah,
then by, a couple years down the road, like you might be a totally different person and not even realize that you were being influenced. It's almost
right.
like we talk a lot about peer pressure with young kids, but there's definitely some going on with adults. We just don't think of it as that. Um, so I think it's really important to be very conscious or have an awareness, or at least think about once in a while, who are you spending your time with and how are they influencing you? So I'm hoping today's chat will, invite our viewers to just kind of take some time to think about who they're around on a regular basis.
And I would offer that we're not saying throw your friends under the bus. That's that's not it. But as you begin asking the question, well, this person is holding a belief that I've just kind of put up with, even though I don't agree with it. But even in the putting up with it, is that normalizing it in a way for you that yourself of a year ago wouldn't be comfortable with? Are you kind of letting that seep in, whether you acknowledge believing it or not? Are you making room for it? And if no judgment, it's just ask the question.
Right,
How
right.
comfortable am I bringing this influence in? And sometimes you can have a conversation with that friend and assuming it's a friend, and say, you know what, that's an uncomfortable thing for me. Let's just table that conversation for a while. Um, or sometimes you just love friends from a distance
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for a little bit. Family members
Yes.
too.
Yes.
It taking space and holding love are not in opposition.
Mm-hmm.
You can still
Mm-hmm.
love somebody quite deeply, but just need to take some space.
Right. Because we do have to protect our own energy and our own way of growth. We don't want to grow and move in that direction that's not good for us.
Mm.
So I think we need to
Doesn't
have that awareness around it.
doesn't Darren Hardy have a water analogy?
He does, but before we jump to that, I would love to explore that. I love that normalizing word that you said, like normalizing things. I think us humans are really good at that, really good at normalizing things and accepting things and settling for things without really giving them analysis or exploring what's happening. We just kind of take it and accept it and adapt to it because we're very good at adapting.
Yeah, and the idea of um, well, at the bottom of it all, inviting conflict. No, thank you. I don't want to get in a fight with my friend. I don't want to pick a
Mm-hmm.
fight with my coworker.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I like so much about them, but this one thing they say again and again, or they love to gossip, and that's not my happy place.
Mm-hmm.
But I just let them go on because that's who they are, rather than invite conflict, which could come when you say, yeah, you know what, I don't feel comfortable saying something about
Mm-hmm.
Teresa when Teresa's not here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To say that to my friend June, or I just made up a name.
Mm-hmm. Right,
Um,
right,
it's just much easier. It's the path of least resistance to just let her prattle on with her gossip.
right, right,
But meanwhile,
right.
it's
So,
seeping in.
yeah. And I mean, you could be a friend and let them vent and let them speak the way they need to speak, but being conscious of the fact that you don't have to buy into it. You know your boundaries. You know that you don't want to go there. You don't want to be part of the drama. You don't want to be part of the gossip, whatever. And then once you do, like I said, step away, then just kind of let that go. Don't let those things stay with you, if that makes sense. I know there has been a couple of times in my life, once with a friend and once with a family member. They were just all caught up in this drama, which they had every right to be. I'm not judging that, but
Yeah.
they wanted me to be part of it. And I just couldn't do it. And one, I actually told her, I said, I want to support you, but I can't be part of the drama. I can't commiserate with you. I can't jump into the negative deep end with you because it's not good for me. And so that relationship didn't last much longer after that, but I had to draw the line somewhere because I kind of dreaded seeing her pop up on my phone.
Oh,
And I didn't
yeah.
want, like I wanted to be supportive, but I told her, if you want me to support you in a positive way and help you find solutions or see the lesson here, then yeah, I'm here for you. But I can't go down that rabbit hole with you. Um, and so that's my choice because I was protecting myself. And then in the family member, it was all around a negative situation in her family. And eventually I just quit asking questions. I just kind of try to divert her. And so eventually she just learned that we're not going to talk about that when we're together. But I
Yeah.
had to make those choices for myself. I don't know if you've ever been in those situations, but
Oh, sure. And it's interesting because it can feel enticing to jump in
mhm.
and maybe try and help that person
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
better. But in doing so, it kind of solidifies the victim mode.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
And there's no power in the victim mode, but
Right.
it's a very seductive place because as we pull in, oh, this thing happened to me, and
Mm-hmm.
poor me, there are people who will pile on, oh, I am so sorry. How are you
Mm-hmm.
doing? This is such a tough circumstance. Poor baby.
Mm-hmm.
And that poor baby love can feel good, even though we're putting ourselves in a victim mindset to invite that in. But there's no power.
Right,
There's
right.
no sense of agency, personal
Mm-hmm.
agency in the victim mode. And there's a you can't walk in power and be a victim at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And
Power doesn't mean you rule the world. It just means your own sense of agency.
right. And I just jotted down the phrase honor ourselves. Like we
Mm,
need to honor ourselves and how we want to show up in the world and make those decisions. Now, I think it's harder with family members, coworkers that you have to be in their space on a regular basis, even though they're not maybe the type of person you want to be with, and they're not the positive person that you want to surround yourself with. So there's there's ways of protecting ourselves, or like I said, just not jumping in with them, maybe just offering them a few words of support and then back away, or just do what you need to do and then go back to the people that are really good for you.
I think in circumstances like that, you're right, and it's great to have some prepackaged ideas in your back pocket. So when
Mm,
someone's downloading, you can say, "Wow, I can see you're really in struggle with this."
mm,
And then I know you well enough to know you will find your way out.
love that.
I really see your ability to problem solve here.
Mm-hmm.
This is tough. Gosh, I'm awfully sorry, but I know you're going to come out the other side.
Mm,
Meanwhile, we get to look at, okay, why is this person in my space? What
mm,
message does this person have in my evolution?
right.
What, what is this foil for me
Right,
that
right.
I need to learn,
Oh,
basically?
yeah, that's an interesting pivot here. So yeah, what lesson am I learning from them?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's another huge thing. Um,
One of the things that I'm kind of on about now is learning to become a sixth sensory person.
hmm,
And ultimately that means living more by your intuitive
mhm,
guidance, with your using your spirit as the captain and
mhm,
your very capable ego as the co-pilot, and not the other way around. And one of the things that I've been challenged to do is, even with difficult people, or maybe they're not difficult people, but we're engaging in a difficult circumstance, try to see the spirit in them and trust
love
that they
that.
have one, and trust that it's in there, even if it appears to be completely under a
Mm,
barrel at the
I
moment.
love that.
And oh gosh, that's hard sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure. But just, I like the way you said, hold the space for them. Have know what you're going to say in advance, kind of like you said, have some things in your back pocket so you can redirect or offer support, but not dive in the deep end with them, and just
or
be there
or
to
fan their victim flame.
right, or fan their victimhood, and just be a source of encouragement and let them understand that you want to be part of the solution. You want to see them be successful. You want to see them come out at the other end, with the best possible way for everybody's highest good. So I love that you're like holding the vision for them working it out on their own successfully instead
Mhm.
of fanning that victimhood. So yeah, I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
And I love seeing the spirit in them. Yeah, their divine essence. Hold that in front of you instead of the circumstances they're in. or
Yeah.
the drama that they're being part of. So yeah, all good options for
Mhm.
somebody. And then just real quick before we wrap this up here, the garbage in, the garbage out idea. I want to revisit that.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
And that we can go on so many tangents on that alone. And we did start with the idea of surrounding ourselves with the right people. But
Remember
this
that?
ties together in terms of we want to surround ourselves with positive, uplifting people, maybe people that are a little bit ahead of us, and we aspire to walk in their shoes and, follow their good examples. And the garbage in, garbage out, there was this whole in the compound effect there. He offered an analogy with a glass, like your mind is like a glass that you can fill it with whatever type of water you want. Like, it might start out clear and then the water starts to get cloudy and mucky and dirty because you're putting in garbage, negative things, maybe negative people, maybe some drama, maybe the victimhood. That's all going into that cup or that glass. And it just gets harder and harder to function because, the water is so icky. And yeah, you can't see. Thank you. You can't see in that glass of water. But it can be cleansed, it can be cleaned, it can, you can start over and get a redo with some clear, yes, with a
Pour it
clear
out.
glass of water. And then I guess our goal is to keep that water as clean as possible so that we are putting in positive things and good people and, good decisions and whatever else you want to throw in there. But I mean, it's a constant ongoing practice. It's not just like a one and done. You got to
Yeah.
keep,
How fun I have.
love
Yeah.
that.
I can see you through here. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can see clearly. So yeah, that's any thoughts on the garbage in, garbage out?
Oh, just that it's a total touche and not always easy,
Right, not
you
always
know,
easy.
but we always have the option to, using the glass analogy, let's say the water does get murky, but rather than just dumping the glass, if you pour in more clean water,
Mm,
it will
mm,
flow up over
that's a
and
good
the
point.
icky will go out the side.
Love that.
You know,
Love that.
so as the expression goes, you don't have to throw out the baby with the bathwater. Just add more clean water, more um, good energy,
I
for
love
lack of a
that.
better way to say it, until your glass does feel clean.
Yes,
And
that is great.
with things like a gratitude practice,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's just like 2 seconds of saying, "I'm really grateful for a glass to put my water in."
Yes,
How
exactly.
lucky am I to live in a world where
Yes.
glasses are normal?
Yes. And I'm so grateful that I have water in
Water.
my home that comes in, in a
I don't have
beautiful
to go to
way.
a well. This is awesome.
Exactly. Exactly. So I always am grateful for water,
So we
warm,
can
clean
top those
water.
glasses all the
Hmm.
time.
Right. So yeah, this is delightful. I don't know if you want to finish up with any final thoughts, but I kind of want to wrap this up and we're going to continue this discussion in another episode. So make sure you watch for that. Um, so we started with surrounding ourselves with the best people possible so that we keep our glass of water nice and clear and clean. And we can also ripple out to other people in a positive way. Because if we're clean and clear and we have positive energy that we're rippling out, then we're making an impact in other people in our lives, on other people in our lives. So, just something I'm offering you as viewers and listeners just to think about that. Just kind of, maybe write down a list of who you do hang with and do you feel they're positive influence or negative influence and just bring an awareness to it. Just start there. Like I said, we're not asking you to throw anybody out of your your own circle of friends or family, but just something to think about. It is an ongoing practice. We're here to plant seeds and you take what you can from it and the rest you just forget. Okay, so thank you so much, my friends. Thank you, Diane Amelia. Appreciate you.
What a fun conversation.
Delightful having you here. And we're looking forward to our next conversation. And I invite our viewers to stick around, come back to another episode, and see what we talk about that. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Wow.